Hello students. Now today let us study how to convert fraction into decimal. Now you can see the two set of numbers here. You can see one set of numbers and fractions, and here another set of fraction. And what is the basic difference do you find in both of them? Now I am sure if you look very carefully you can easily understand that here we have, just look at the denominators of these numbers and look at the denominators of these number. In both of them we can find that denominators here are the multiples of 10. It is 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakhs, like that. But here we have different denominators. Now see how we can convert these fraction into decimal. Now this set of number, let us do it first. And now since if we want to divide a number by a number like 10, then we know we have 1 0. So what we have to do, that means, what is the literal meaning of division? 9 is divided into 10 parts. Alright, that means you are not going to get 90 or 900. If 9 kg is divided into 10 equal parts, obviously it's going to be a small number. And how do we make it a small number? We will shift, if there is a decimal here, that decimal will be shifted towards the left hand side of the number. Now suppose we don't see any decimal point here, that means the decimal is here after the number and it is to be shifted by 1 digit. Now if you shift this, it means 9.0, the decimal is here, it will be shifted by 1 digit. Here you can see there are 2 digits. So what will happen? The decimal which is not found here, it means it is after 9 and it will be shifted by 2 digit. Instead of 1 digit we have 2 zeros, it means it will be shifted by 2 digit. So 9 is already there, we add one more 0 to make it 2, and so it shifts by 2 digit. What happened in this case? We can find that there are 3 zeros and it means we will have to shift the decimal which is here by 3 digit. 1 is already there, 2 more zeros if we add, we will get the number to be the number becomes smaller when you shift the decimal from here to here. That means the answer is 0 point. Now see what I said, we will put a decimal here. So I have put a decimal here, then we have 2 zeros and 9. This is your answer, but we should not start any number with a decimal point. For good habit, we should always add a 0, a digit before the decimal. Don't start the number with a decimal. Now come to this answer. We know the answer is 0 point here, then we have 0 and then we have 9. But for good habit, we need to add a 0 before the decimal. Here we have the decimal point here and then we need to write the decimal point here. So for good habit, 1 0 is added before that. Here you can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So the decimal which you cannot see here, it means it is here, and so it will be shifted by 5 digit. 2 are already there, then 3 more will be added. That means it will be decimal 0, 0, 0, 9, 9. And we have already discussed, we should not start any answer with the decimal. So it becomes this. Answer becomes here. Now here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So the decimal was here. Here we can see, we are able to see the decimal. So the decimal will be shifted by 5 digit. 2 is already there. 3 more will be added. That means the answer becomes point. Then 3 zeros. Then we have 4, 8. Decimal is not here. So we have 7, 7. So this is your answer, and for good habit we need to add a 0 before the decimal. So this is the way we divide the number, any number when it is divided by 10, 100,000, like such kind of number. Our work becomes very simple because we just have to shift the decimal. Now come to this part of the question. This can be done in two ways. One way is simple division. We all know 7 divided by 8 means 7 divided by 5. 3 divided by 8. And we all know 7 is divided by 5. We write it like this. And we know how to divide. And the last year you have also studied how to divide if the to get the answer in decimal. If 7 is not going completely, we add zeros. We add a decimal and then we place zeros after that and we divide. But let us see if this kind of thing can happen in this also. So that will be our second method, which will be in some cases it is possible. Now let us see whether it is possible to convert the denominator in 10, 100,000, such kind of number. So what happens if I want 5 can be converted into a number like 10, 100,000 by multiplying it by 2. Now in the same way, this 8 can be converted into 100 or 10, 100,000 by multiplying it by 125, and you know the answer will become 1000 here. Here we know the answer will become 10. So we are just trying to convert the denominator into a number like 10, 100,000, and if I multiply this 25 by 4, I am going to get 100 here. This we already know 125 into 8. That means if you have 125 in the denominator, it can be converted into 1000 by multiplying it by 8. Here we have, first we will have to convert this mixed fraction into improper. 7 5s are 35, 36, 37, 38 upon 5. And we all know 5 can be converted into the number like 10, 100,000 by multiplying it by 2. So it becomes 10 here. Now, are we allowed to multiply just the denominator by any number, whichever we wish? It's not allowed. So what we have to write 7 by 5 in another way, and we can write it in another way using the concept of equivalent fraction. And what is equivalent fraction? दो fractions जिनकी value same है, ठीक है ना? So दो fraction जिनकी value same है. It means 7. If we are multiplying denominator by 2, the numerator also should be multiplied by 2, because we are not changing the value. The reason behind it is we are multiplying 7 by 5 by 2 by 2. 2 by 2 is what? It is 1. If you multiply any number by 1, it is not changing the value. So if we are multiplying by 2 here, 2 should be multiplied here also. That means the same thing goes here, the same thing goes here. Here also we will have to multiply it by 8. Here also we will have to multiply by 2, right? Now, let me rub this part of the question. So we have 4 upon 100 here. We have 3 5s are 15, 1, 3 2s are 6, 7, 3 1s are 3. So 375 upon 1000, 7 2s are 14 upon 10. Here 7 8s are 56 upon 8. 1000, and 2 8s are 16, 1, 2 3s are 6, 76 upon 10. Now we all know we got a denominator which makes our work very easy, these denominator. And what happens in this case? 14 upon 10, the answer will be, decimal is not seen means it is here, it is 1.4. 375 upon 1000. The denominator, no decimal means decimal is here. It will be shifted by 3 digit. तो यहाँ से decimal हट के it becomes 0.375. But we must add a 0 before that. We have 4 upon 100. The decimal is here, which will be shifted by 2 digit. The answer is 0.04. So these two I am leaving it for you. I am sure you will be able to do. Now let us take that last part, which is 3 whole 3 by 40. 3 whole 3 upon 40. 3 fours are 12. 120. 4 threes are 12. 120. 3 upon 40. Now we have to think whether we can divide, we can make this number a number like these numbers, right? Where the denominator is 100,000, 10,000, like that. So if you multiply 4 by 25, we all know you get 100. So we have 123 here. It becomes 25 fours are 100 and a 0 is here. So 123 upon 1000. And 123 upon 1000 means the decimal will be shifted by 3 digit. The answer is 0.123. So we have done this part of the question. Now this was one method. Now this is possible only when we have a suitable denominator. अगर हमारे पास 3 होगा तो at any cost you will not be able to convert 3 into a number like 10, 100, 1000, 10,000. That means we must know another method also to find out the process of converting the fraction into decimal. So let us pick up some more questions. Even these questions can be done by one more method which we are going to study now. So let us try different questions where it is in some cases these are the question, in some other cases where we cannot change the denominator into these kind of number. So let's take those kind of questions also. And that is your second method. And that method will be applicable for these questions also. So let me take from your book. Now suppose we take 5 upon 4. We know 4 can be converted. Let us take 6 upon 16. 16 cannot be converted. And let us take 15 by 20 and let us do, I know 20 can also be converted, but let us do it in another method, that is division method. Now let us see that 5 upon 4. Now we know 5 is to be divided by 4, right? Now how do we divide? 4 ones are 4. The remainder is 1. If we don't want remainder to be 1, we will have to do something. That means we want the answer in decimal. It means 5 ke baad you just place 2 or 3 0 as much as it is required. Now here I think 2 zeros will be enough. Now if I take the 0 here 5.0, then I have to take the 0 here. We will have to carry this 0. So 4 2s are, because we are taking the 0 which is after the decimal, obviously it's going to be a decimal here. So 4 2s are 8. The remainder is 2. Now we take 0. 4 5s are 20. So it is 0. That means what is 4 by 5? 4 by 5 is 1.25. Right? Now let us do another question. 6 is to be divided by 16. Now 16, it means we will have to add some number of 0. The value remains same if you add zeros. We all know that. Now 16 3s are 16 into 3. 48. Now we know 6 will not go by 16, so we will have to consider 60. Now if you are considering 60, you can see the decimal is crossing, so we will have to place, अब देखो 0, 16, zeros are 0 and we get 6. So what we'll do, we will have to add, or I have already said, because we have crossed the decimal, we will have to place a decimal here. Alright, so let me write down this here. So it is पहले ही आपका decimal आ गया, and we know for good habit it means we should not start our number with a decimal, so we place a 0. So this way also you can understand. Now 16 threes are 48. How much is remaining? 2. And 1, 12. Now you carry this 0 here. Now 16, we will have to work out 6, it should be 7. So we will have to try 16 into 7, 6 sevens are 42, 4, 7 is a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 1, 2. So it is 7 times 1, 1, 2. We are left with 8. We carry one more 0. We have this, right? Now we know 16 fives are 80, sorry. So that means now we got the answer. The answer is 0.375. Here we cannot do the first method. Here we could have done the first method. You can see 5 by 4. If you multiply by 25, this will also be multiplied by 25. You would have got 125 divided by 100, and you can see the difference. The answer is 1.25. So this is one method and this was another method. So here it was possible, but here it is not possible because we will not be able to convert 16 into number like 100,000. Now let's do the last one and wind up. Now 15 upon 20, we all know 15 will be written here. It is to be divided by 20. Now we know it's not going to work out unless and until we put zeros after the decimal. Now 20, if you will have to obviously take these three numbers, 15 is not going to work. So 20, how many times? If you do 8, 8 twos are 16, it becomes 160, which becomes bigger. So let's take 7s are. 7 twos are 14 and we have a 0. So we got one more thing we have to understand. It starts with a decimal because we have taken 150, which is crossing the decimal. So it should be decimal here, and better way is not starting the number with a decimal point. Now we are left with 1 here. Let us take one more 0, and you know 20 fives are 100. The answer is, that means the answer here is 0.75. And you can all see that here also there is the previous method applicable. 15 upon 20. If you multiply both of them by 5, you will get 75 upon 5 twos are 10, that is 100, and the decimal is here, which is shifted like this, and you are getting 0.75. So you got that this question can be solved by both the method. One is this method, which is very, very simple, but it is restricted for some questions only. Or the second method is this, which is our division method. So that is all for today.